What's going on? It's fall for nothing or fall for no thing. What's the deal, y'all? Hope everybody's doing good. This channel is long overdue. I've been thinking about making a channel like this for years now, and I finally committed to doing so. And with this being my first video, I think it's necessary to kind of give a history of who I am, where I'm coming from, what truth means to me, what made me decide to start searching for truth. And I think that a lot of truth channels that I follow, I don't know if I've ever seen any of them do a breakdown video of why they got into this. At least not the main guys that I watch. Maybe they did a long time ago. I don't know. Maybe it got deleted. Maybe they deleted it. I don't know. Nevertheless, with me, I wanted to at least give a background history of who I am, and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So, growing up for me, around second, third grade, I started getting in trouble at school. I was the class clown. And for me personally, there was nothing like making a joke in class and having the whole classroom, every one of your classmates, burst out in laughter. Everybody's rolling and laughing, and it's all because of something you said. And I used to, put my own schooling at risk, and uh, all for the entertainment of my classmates. I was willing to go to the principal's office or get out of school suspension just to make my classmates laugh. And, I really got crucified by a lot of my teachers for it. They really gave me a hard time, like I was a terrible person just for being a class clown. And it really got me in a lot of trouble with in school. It got me in a lot of trouble in the sense that, like I said, I was always in school, always in out of school, always in the principal's office, in detention. If I was in school, I was in school detention. They had me in a little closet, basically what it was. The benefit to that is since I was isolated so much as a youngster in school, it made me focus on learning, focus on the education that was provided to me. So, they bring me my work. I'm in school suspension. What else can I do at that point but learn and read and write and do whatever I'm supposed to do? So it actually, as much as it frustrated me as a kid, always getting sent to the principal's office, always being an in school suspension, out of school suspension. I think I said detention, but it's suspension. Nevertheless, with all of that, it was kind of a blessing in disguise because it forced me to focus on my education. When I was isolated from my classmates, there was no one to make laugh when I was sitting in a closet by myself with my schoolwork. Might as well do the schoolwork now. So that started for me as a kid, getting in a lot of trouble, and eventually, about 13 years old, I caught my first case, my first legal case for paraphernalia, drug paraphernalia. I got caught with a marijuana pipe, and that was just the very first of many charges. But it all rooted back to that paraphernalia charge. And I got put on probation, didn't want to quit smoking weed. So then I got put on ISP and intensive supervision probation. And I still didn't want to quit smoking weed. Just kept going back to jail, violating it. Eventually, I got taken out of my parents' custody. I got thrown in group homes, and it all started for marijuana pipe paraphernalia. But as I got older and deeper into the streets, I made worse decisions. I did a lot of things that to this day I regret, and really I've been trying to make up from those mistakes for a long time now. Because I did do some things that weren't an indication of who I am. They weren't a reflection of my true character. It's just that once the system grabbed hold of me, it's like they didn't want to let me out. Here I'm a kid, smoking marijuana, which fast forward, this is 20 years ago. Fast forward, and now, marijuana is legal in 35, 40 states. Pretty soon it's going to be legal nationwide. And so something I was crucified that got me in the system and pretty much kept me stuck in the system is now acceptable. But back when I was young and in these courtrooms for possession of marijuana, possession of paraphernalia, they were crucifying me like I had murdered someone. It was incredible to me as a kid that I would be treated, like such a menace to society when I'm only harming myself. And that's if you want to believe that marijuana is even harmful. Like I said, this was 20 years ago. Fast forward, I think the majority of people you speak to will probably say marijuana is not as harmful as they once thought. And then some people have already known that it's not harmful, man. If anything could be harmful if you abuse it, but in general, it's not harmful. This is a natural plant. But nevertheless, that really got me in the system. I got crucified for that, and eventually I made worse decisions, committed worse crimes, and eventually I found myself in juvenile penitentiary. You know, uh, or as they called it, youth corrections. And I did 2 years. And during that 2 years is when my eyes really opened up to corruption. I mean, I've always felt like, people aren't as honest as they want to come across, right? So it's like when you're meeting a girlfriend, or if you're a woman, when you're meeting a guy, and you're not just going to tell them all the bad things about you. You're going to give this character pretty much. You're going to be on your best behavior. You're not just going to talk about all your downs in life and all your problems, anything that you need to try to work on. You're not going to probably be talking about that, right? So, to me, I've always felt like, in general, people withhold some truth and they're not as honest as they might want to seem. So that kind of helped me when I'm in jail and I start seeing I'm doing 2 years as a juvenile and I see how corrupt the COs are. At the youth corrections at Topeka, I'm from Kansas. I was born in Missouri, raised in Kansas. And the first correctional facility I was in as a juvenile was youth corrections at Topeka. And man, those COs were so corrupt. The kids in there, the offenders could be anywhere from 12 or maybe it was 13 at YCAT because it was the hardest juvenile penitentiary in Kansas. So 13 was the minimal, but you could be up to 23 and a half and still be in this facility depending on when you committed your crime. So we had people in there for juvenile life, which I believe juvenile life, at least when I was in there, was like 7.5 years. If you got sentenced to juvenile life, it's like 7.5 years, something of that nature. And so there was older people in there. There were people my age. I was 15 when I went in to do my 2 years. And I just saw the corruption, man. These CEOs are bringing in, the porno magazines. They're bringing in chewing tobacco. And trust me, as a youth locked up, not having freedom, I was appreciating them. But it just goes to show you that, let's say, for example, a CEO, whoop my ass, right? And I try to fight back. I get a couple hits in and I get in trouble. The CEO says he attacked me, so I had to whoop his ass because he attacked me. Who are they gonna believe? They're gonna believe that corrupt CEO. So that's what always baffled me as a kid. Is like, man, these guys are corrupt as could be because not only are they going against their authorities and helping us out, but if they had to go against us, they would. And the truth is, they're corrupt more than me, more than some of us that were in there. I mean, these people are, violating their policies for their employment, and they're breaking laws. Bringing some of the stuff they was bringing in weed, all kind of stuff to juveniles. So you're also contributing to a minor at that point. So to me, them COs was more corrupt than me. Again, I appreciated it being in jail, getting the porno flicks and everything, but it's like, oh, okay. So, yeah, there is this level of corruption at all kind of levels out here. Okay. And the other thing that being locked up as a juvenile really taught me that uh, there's a hierarchy and there's a political system in every form of environment. Every place you can be, whether it's an employer or a home, the streets, wherever you're at, there's some kind of hierarchy and political system in which people have to abide by, whether they want to or not. And what I mean by that is, in jail, I mean, you have Bloods and Crips and Vice Lords and GDs and Sureños and Norteños and East Siders and West Siders, and you have the Woods, and you have all these different gangs, so to speak. But within those gangs, there's a hierarchy. There's a system in which you have somebody at the top calling the orders, and then the foot soldiers underneath, and there's everybody in between that too. But you have this system in which a chain of a command is that's what I was looking for there. You have a chain of command in pretty much all environments in life, and the reason I think that's so important is because, to me, a chain of command within a gang, within you know some clique in jail, a chain of command. They're all organized. They got knowledge that you got to follow. You got to remember this knowledge. You got to put in work. You got to do all this stuff. This is at such a small level. I mean, some of the gangs I ran with, gangster disciples. I was cool with a lot of gangster disciples, and the knowledge and the chain of command within that organization. I mean, it has to be the most impressive organization or gang, if you want to call it that I learned about, because it's really organized. And to me, the reason I bring that up is because a lot of times with this truth is, a lot of times what you hear is, oh, people, you can't hide lies. People can't hide the truth. People, someone's always going to spill the beans, right? And it's like, people that say that just don't understand the level in which the people that operate this world, they're not little juvenile offenders in jail, buddy. All right, they're not some little organized gang in jail. That's small time, buddy. These are gazillionaires. All right, these are trillionaires. These are the people that run the world. And to think that they don't have a chain of command, that they don't have knowledge, wisdom, and understanding within their organization, and you have to follow a code of silence or a code of secrecy, to think that these gangs do it, but we don't have the trillionaires doing it. Please, guys, there's a chain of command in all levels, whether it be the small gangbangers or even some homeless people. And I lived in LA, and there's groups of homeless people, and there's an alpha in all groups. There's a system, a chain of command within all these aspects of life, all these environments, all these situations. There is that. So going back to jail, it showed me the corrupt CEOs, and it showed me how organized the political system is at all levels. And that's what we call it. That's what people call it. If you've been to jail, it's called politics, man. So the chain of command, code of secrecies, code of silence, that's at all levels of life. Whether you're poor, middle class, or rich, or buku rich, that's at all levels of life. So going back to truth, I think it's important that I touch on 9/11. When 9/11 happened, this was before I went to jail, but when 9/11 happened, it happened 2001, as we know, September 11th, 2001. I was in 8th grade at the time. And I remember when it happened, to be honest, I hate to sound heartless, but I didn't really care. I didn't really know what the Twin Towers were at the time. I'm like, why is everybody freaking out so bad? Everybody's my teacher. I remember my first hour class in 8th grade was choir class. That was my first hour class of the day. And I remember that, September 11th just happened. The plane just crashed in the building. We didn't have choir class that day. She had the TV on the whole class. And she was just distressed and distraught. And she was just tripping out. And it's like I said, I'm a kid. I'm like, what's the big deal? I mean, okay, some planes crashed in the tower. Okay, why are we tripping out on this? So at the time, I mean, I was in 8th grade, man. And shout out to all the young guys in the truth community that are ahead of where I was at. Because in 8th grade, I didn't think it was what I came to find out later on. I didn't think it was some kind of hoax psyop, it definitely wasn't a hoax, but it was a psyop. It was planned in advance, and it was um, orchestrated by people other than who we were told it was orchestrated by. But I didn't realize that at the time. I just thought, I never really cared about the news, man. So it's like, okay, we got some big thing going on in the news. It's in New York. I'm in Kansas. I don't care. That was my attitude. Nevertheless, it was later on that I started hearing, as the years went by, like this was an inside job, and watch Fahrenheit 911, and I started doing some research, and I'm like, oh wow, yeah, what we were told happened didn't happen. But that wasn't really that woke me up. That's not what really gave me my awakening. That's not what really, uh, you know, took the blindfold off. For me, it was Sandy. That's what we'll call her, Sandy. I'll never forget when Sandy happened, and I believe this was in 2012. But I'll never forget when Sandy happened. The first thing I did was called my best friend, Kevin Beach. We called him KB, and rest in peace to KB because he passed away. But I'll never forget. I was living in California, and I saw that on the news. These kids got killed at Sandy, and I'm like, wow, bro. But the first thing that went in my mind is like, oh, okay, so now we know what they're gonna do. They're gonna push gun control. Watch. That was the first thing that came in my mind. So as soon as I went on, I was at work and I saw the little news article or whatever. So as soon as I went on break, I called my best friend, Kevin Beach, KB. I was like, man, did you see what happened? He's like, yeah. I said, man, before I say anything, I'm like, man, that's terrible that happened to them kids, man. That is absolutely terrible that happened to those kids, man. But they're going to use this for gun control. They're going to push gun control based off this. And lo and behold, what happens? Almost the same day. I believe it might have been the same day they start pushing gun control. And I'm just like, okay. Yeah, I already knew from being locked up. Like I said, I've seen all this corruption within school, within jails. I've seen all this corruption within the court system. I didn't even touch on that, but so many different levels of corruption, so many different aspects of life. So I see Sandy Hook, and I'm like, okay, yeah, they're gonna use this, But I really believed, them kids were gone, man. I was, like, man, what kind of person could do this, man? This is terrible. And I'm a big sports guy, and I've always been big into sports. And like I said, I was living in California when Sandy happened, and I used to be on these ESPN chat boards. There used to be a lot of They used to have conversation boards, and I used to be on there quite a bit. I was a KU fan, Kansas Jayhawks. They're good at basketball, so I was on there quite a bit. And I'll never forget. Here, I'll just kind of show you what I'm talking about right here. So on these games, you used to be able to pull up a game like right here, and you would see, instead of Gamecast and tickets, well, you'd still maybe would see that, but there used to be something right here. It'd say conversation board. And you could click in there. You could go to a team schedule. So let's see. Let's just pull. Oh, we don't want to go to tickets. Let's pull up this. Let's go to KC 2021. So you could pull up a team schedule. You could go all the way to the last game, and there used to be something right here. It would say conversation board, and you could click there, and there would be people from KC and Minnesota, fans of both teams talking smack before a game, fans of other teams that just want to come through and talk smack. So you could go on there well in advance and start conversing with people. Well, I remember one night after Sandy had happened, I was watching like a Monday night football game, and I was in the conversation board on an ESPN, on the ESPN game. And I remember I kept seeing some guy spamming, and I was like, man, he kept saying Sandy Hook is a hoax. I'm like, man, what is this guy talking about? A bunch of kids, passed away. He kept saying Sandy is a hoax. Sandy is a hoax. I'm like, dude, I said, man, with all due respect, you can say what you want, bro, but kids died. So stop saying hoax, homie. You know, I was really believing this, y'all. And he said, no, they didn't. And he sent me a link to a video. And me being the kind of guy that I am, like I said, I always felt like people have always kind of been dishonest and they don't tell you all the truth and all that. So, me being the way I am, I clicked the link. And I wish I could remember who sent me that. If you ever hear this video, I highly doubt it. But if you ever did, I thank you, man. I really thank you because that is what woke me up. From there, I watched whatever video he had, and then from there, I found this guy, Idaho Picker, was one of the first people I found speaking on Sandy back in 2012. So shout out to Idaho Picker. He just tore that crap apart, man. It had so many holes in the story, and it wasn't Idaho Picker. I believe this is his other channel, Logic Before Authority. All the videos he made on that are long gone, but man, he was on top of it. And then same with this guy, Red Silver J. Red Silver J. All I gotta say, yeah, he was on top of it too, man. He was just there were so many holes in this story, man. So many holes in this story. So it's like, okay, I'm watching all these channels. Here's his other one, Red Silver J's other channel, Team Wake 'em Up. And I'm just, man, I'm watching all this stuff, really researching what they claim happened and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, oh, we've been lied to. We've been lied to. And that's really what did it for me. That's really what started awakening me to the bull crap. Because from there, like I said, I went to Idaho Picker. I was watching all his videos, Logic Before Authority, Red Silver J, Team Wake 'em Up. But I was also watching other channels like Alex Jones at the time. It was early in my awakening, listening to stuff that Jesse Ventura had said, and I was still really early in the game, y'all. But I did learn quick that Alex Jones is full of shit. Jesse Ventura is full of shit. Most of these people that have a big voice, even here on YouTube, that speak out to the truth community, a lot of them are full of shit, paid for and bought. I mean, it's clear as day when you really start looking into it. But I thank them nevertheless because early on, the thing is, even with people giving, paid for bot shills, even with them, they have to give you a little bit of truth. That's part of how they can pull this off, right? If they're telling you nothing but lies, no one's going to listen to them, right? So they're giving you some truth. They're just throwing a bunch of BS in there. Plus, the whole time, they're full of crap. They're bought and they're paid for, and they're doing this to fill their pockets, not for the right reasons. But anyway, early on, I didn't really know anything about paid opposition or, anything about shills. So I was watching everybody that was going against what we were told on the mainstream. And, that's when I learned that, really for me, I think one of the best spots to start, even if you wake up from something like Sandy or something like 9/11, one spot that's really good to research is the entertainment industry because it's so clear as day when you see all these symbols and signs that just get flashed by all of them on album covers and and all the photo shoots. They're doing the same thing, and when you start kind of understanding where some of these symbols and signs come from, then that kind of opens you up your eyes up a little bit more. And I think that entertainment's a good spot to start, with your truth seeking, or if you're trying to wake someone up, because people are so, you know, engaged by entertainment. They're so fulfilled by entertainment. That's what so many people's lives revolve around, whether it be sports or movies or music or video games. People are intrigued by entertainment. And if you can show them symbols and signs within the entertainment, that could be a start. That could definitely be a start. But for me personally, I researched it all: entertainment, politics, religion, the mainstream media. I started researching it all after Sandy because I was just blown away. I'm like, man, we're being lied to on the mainstream media, and it's clear as day. And not enough people are talking about it. And from there, that was when I officially woke up. But from there, then we had the Boston bombing, and that was just as ridiculous. And as far as the person that I felt like broke that down the best was this guy right here, PK. He was hilarious when that Boston stuff happened, man, because he would just, man, some of the videos he would throw together were just too funny, man. Too funny. I mean, it's a serious matter, but that kind of the videos he was making is the kind of stuff that get people wake up because they'll be entertained by the comedy within the video. That'll capture them, and then the truth will kind of saturate in their subliminal mind. Hopefully, is what you would hope when you have that. But nevertheless, you know, PK really broke down the Boston situation, I think, better than anyone. But, so we had the 9/11. I wasn't really in tune with that. I was in eighth grade. Then Sandy is what really popped my eyes open in December of 2012, December 14th, 2012. I think that was the exact date. That is what awoke me. That's when I saw, oh, hold on. We're being lied to majorly, man. Like this is all. I don't think anyone. Oh. But that's really what got me into the truth community, into the truth, seeking truth, was Sandy. I just couldn't believe that we had been lied to about something like that. They knew it was going to hit on our emotions because you're talking about kids, man. You're talking about kids, man. Dying. Oh, man, that's terrible, bro. That's going to make most people not even want to research the other side. They're just going to believe the story they told because it's just too dang sad. I don't want to look into it, right? But you had Sandy, and then, I went on my truth-seeking mission, and Boston bombing happened, and it's like, man, this just crap just keeps getting validated that the media is full of crap. Me personally, though, I'm not a fan of saying everything on TV is all fake. It's all fake because when I was a kid and I got the worst charge I got was attempted aggravated burglary, and they put that on the news. I was a juvenile; they couldn't say my name, but I was in the newspaper, on the news, and the guy I was with was 18. His name was on there. So not all. I think local news you get some truth. I even think world news you get some truth, and that they can't tell you all bullshit. They got to give you a little bit of truth, so then people will, you know, oh well, that was true. I know that was true. I knew so and so, right? So then they believe the rest. So they got to give you a little bit of truth. So I'm not a big fan of when people say it's all fake. Well, I've been on the news. And that shit wasn't fake, bro. So, but nevertheless, as I went through my truth seeking mission, it wasn't long before. Let's see, it would have been 2015, I found another guy's channel. I came across this guy's channel. Let's see, that's PK. This guy, Warrior Truth. He just popped up in my recommended. And people that have been around on YouTube as long as me would know that if you watched a truth video back in the day, you just watch one. You're getting about 1,000 back to back. Like the algorithm used to be killer for truth way back in the day. I mean, it used to pop everything up. Now that's changed, but back then, different story. So anyway, his channel popped up in my recommended somehow. This guy, and it was right before it was right before the NBA finals. I don't know if this might be. Yeah, this might be. He actually has one of his videos still up. But this is from. This was not the first one he did. So this is it. Might be the very first video I ever saw. Now I'm on a new channel. I just made this channel, so I probably did like it back then. But this guy right here, Warrior Truth, is what kind of got me. Okay, I always knew that sports were rigged too because they had the Donahue or whatever, the NBA ref that admitted to it. So I already knew that people are always cheating in sports. People cheating in school. People cheating in all aspects of life. At your job, people cheat, man. It's not good. People cheat on a significant other. People cheat. A lot of people cheat. So you think people ain't cheating in sports, you're out of your mind. But I found this guy, and I watched one of his videos, and I was kind of impressed back then. He was real confident that it was going to go down the way he said it was going to go down. And then from his channel, then I found this guy's channel, but you actually can't see his channel anymore because I guess it got taken down. But the Chosen One's channel was removed. RFG. Truth about RFG Chosen One. As you see, a lot of people don't like this guy. RFG Chosen One. Let's see, can I find, here he is right there. That's him, super young right there. But anyway, I found his channel and he was talking about gematria and how sports are rigged through the numbers. And that was the same thing that I believe Warrior Truth was talking about as well, is that it's all rigged by the numbers. And they were breaking it down. They said that Cleveland was going to come back from being down 3-1 and win it all. Well, when I found their channels, I also found another channel. After I found Warrior Truth, then I found RFG Chosen One. And then after I found RFG Chosen One, then I found this guy, Zachary K. Hubbard. Which, if you're going to watch anything to do with gematria, I would highly recommend this guy. So, like I said, I've gave you my history. If you need to go back and rewatch what I started with, Sandy was what really woke me up. I started researching things and seeing that we've been lied to about almost everything, quite frankly. So when I found this guy, Zachary K. Hubbard, um, learning about gematria just validated everything that I had learned up to that point. And again, I found his channel in that right before that NBA Finals series between the Cavaliers and the Warriors, where the Warriors were up 3-1 and the Cavs came back. I found his channel. He was the third guy talking about rig sports and gematria. It was that Warrior Truth, then it was RFG Chosen One, then I found Zach. And man, I was blown away by his knowledge, and I strongly suggest to check it out if you get an opportunity. But it's legit stuff. He breaks it down, fantastic. That's not what I'm here to do in this video right now, though. I'm just giving you my history. But I found Zach and really liked the gematria stuff. It was just more, like I said, more icing on the cake for me to say, okay. If I thought it was all bullshit before, I know it's all bullshit now. But then from Zach's channel, at some point, then I found out about, let's see here. Oh, that's my little cue right there. But then I found out about this guy, Bro Sanchez. Bro Sanchez, am I not subscribed to him yet? Okay, I thought so. Let me turn on these notifications. Because this guy right here, man, he breaks everything down from spiritual beliefs, ancient beliefs. Look at right now, Bible deciphering serpent cults with Sanchez. He's always on some entertaining stuff. But I found him some years ago, and he's really the first one that I learned about the flat Earth stuff with. And I strongly suggest if you haven't, and a lot of people say, why does flat Earth matter? Well, I don't want to argue about that, but I'll tell you why it matters. Because number one, if you can convince someone at least that the shape of the Earth is not a ball, then you're going to wake them up. If you can at least convince them that we've been lied to it about it being a ball, that's going to help wake them up. They're going to, oh wow, that's a huge deception, one of the biggest deceptions ever, So that would help wake people up. Number one, and number two, why does it matter to me? Is because when I research the flat Earth, then I say, oh wow, okay, I already felt like there was a creator. Someone created this environment, this universe, this world that we live in. I've always felt that way. I've always felt like there was a God, there's a creator. Somebody made this. We didn't come from apes and monkeys. I just never believed that. And, that's the thing with Flat Earth. If you really dive into it, you'll see that the predominant belief is, that we're under a firmament and, this is God's world. He created this and designed this. So I think that's why it's important too. But we don't have to agree on that. But I do think that there's a lot of, like, this video right here isn't even really about flat Earth. I'll probably post a video on my page breaking that video down in sections because it's not even about flat Earth. But this guy, Bro Sanchez, can put you up on game on flat Earth. Same with this Eric Dubay. I mean, he's crazy, crazy good with it. ODD TV. He used to do it. I don't think he's been doing much lately. He's been making music. But those three guys there really helped me out on that flat Earth stuff. I got intrigued by it, and it's pretty entertaining, guys. Now, I'm not a flat earther. That's not all I'm about, but it is pretty intriguing stuff if you really look into it. And like I said, I mean, for me personally, it helped validate that there is a creator, in my opinion. You don't have to agree with me there, but from everything I researched within Flat Earth and everything I researched everywhere else, I I have to say, Flat Earth made me feel even stronger that there's a creator. And there was a really good video out there a long time ago. Well, I say a long time ago, maybe 2, 3 years ago, I found on YouTube about the simulation theory. And it was like a 2, 3, maybe 4 hour documentary that this person put together. They started with the moon landing and how that was just a complete crock of crap. And then drew you in with that because they break down how we've never really been to space. And then from there, they went into their flat earth knowledge and all the points they wanted to make about flat earth, and then from there it was a 3 part section. So you had the moon landing hoax, flat earth theory, and then the simulation theory is what followed through with that. So anybody that does follow gematria, you should try and find that video I'm talking about. I'm still trying to find it because it was so good. But I think most people with gematria would agree that the moon landing was a crock of crap. And then a lot of people within the gematria community would probably lean towards thinking that we are in some kind of simulation. So you just got that one section in between to watch in that documentary, and you might like it. Nevertheless, I was seeking truth. I was the gematria, the mainstream media, all the hoaxes they're pulling, all the bullshit they're spewing, flat Earth. We're looking into religions and politics, entertainment. I was looking into it all, and then Pizzagate happened. And with me, um, you know, I wasn't too interested in the topic because it's like, dude, I already know there's a bunch of pedos everywhere, man. Now, me personally, I don't really think I don't want to kill anyone, man. I really don't, bro. But the exception will be made with pedophiles. I mean, bro, they shouldn't exist. And the problem with pedos is that they are so religiously repeat offenders. They just always are repeating their crimes, and we think they're going to stop doing what they're doing, bro. Those are the only people I think put them on an island and nuke them. Because people touching kids, that'll ruin a kid's life, man. That'll really destroy a young kid's life, man. It's not good, man. So, when I heard Pizzagate, I already know, that it's true that kids are getting molested and kids are getting, the underground sex trade. I know that shit's true, man, and it's fucked up. But a lot of people within the truth community felt like that was a psyop and that it was being used as a distraction. And to me, anyone that has been around in this community as long as I have, like I said, Sandy Hook was my official waking up, my awakening, my enlightenment, and that was December 14th, 2012. So it's almost been 10 years for me. We're working on 9 that I can really say I've seen through the bullshit. So it's been working on 9 years, but anyone that's been around as long as me or longer can tell you when that Pizzagate crap happened, that's when we got a big divide in the truth community. And it just became a joke. When Pizzagate happened, shortly after that happened, we had a online dispute between Zachary K. Hubbard and A Call for an Uprising, this guy, which I do follow him, and Jeff C., who is said to have passed away. Nevertheless, A Call for an Uprising, Jeff C., and then Zach. Let's get his channel pulled up here. Gematria Effect. And then Zach. So these three, A Call for an Uprising, Jeff C., and Gematria Effect, a.k.a. Zachary Hubbard, did a debate I actually believe they did two debates. I feel like they did one on Pizzagate, then one on Flat Earth, but it might have all been in the same one, in the same debate. And man, that I can't lie, bro. I'll never forget that. I believe that debate is still online. And man, it just turned me off to this whole truth community, man. I was like, screw this, man. Everybody's at each other's necks. Everybody talking crap on everybody. Everybody disagreeing on what we should be looking into and what we shouldn't be focusing on. There's all this division, and it just that's what really got me away. I probably would have made this page, back then, but for a while after that happened, man, it just became who's the shill show. It's like, oh, everybody pointing their finger at the next man saying, he's a shill, he's a shill, he's a shill, he's a shill, they are shill, they're all a shill. It's like, fuck, man. And I already knew that shills exist and the paid opposition, that they come in here and act like they're part of the team, but they're not. I already knew that. But when people that I really respected, Zachary K. Hubbard and A Call for an Uprising, Jeff C., these guys are all getting into it. It's like, okay, man, I don't need to be listening to y'all. Just need to focus on myself. And that's pretty much what I did from there. Whenever that Pizzagate happened, I'd have to look it up. I should have been more prepared for that. But when Pizzagate happened, I took a little kind of a break from all this truth seeking, so to speak. I mean, it's always in my heart, but I wasn't so focused on like trying to wake people up and trying to gather so much knowledge. I wasn't really focused on that at after that. It kind of turned me off to all that. So from there, I just kind of focused on myself, man. I was working, got back in school. I stacked up a bunch of money, got back in school, got straight A's the first 3 semesters. My first 3 semesters back at school, I got straight A's. My first semester, my English comp teacher recommended me for a scholarship. It was only $650, but still, I mean, it was 650. She just liked the first paper I wrote. She recommended me for a scholarship. Bam. So it was really cool, but it was going great. School was going great, and I went down to Florida in 2018. I was going to move down there, and it was so expensive. And I've been doing school for the past three semesters, and I had money saved, but it's like, man, I need a little bit more money than this if I'm moving to Florida. So I left school, went back to working full time, started stacking up more money, and Super Bowl 54 came around. I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan, and I can't lie, y'all. Even though I knew sports was rigged and everything, I couldn't stop myself from going to the Super Bowl. I waited my whole life to see that with my dad, and I didn't know sports were rigged necessarily the way I know they are now. Back then, when I was young, I'm saying I knew they were when the Super Bowl happened. But when I was real young, when it really became a piece of who I am, football. Watching football with my dad, I knew people cheated and got competitive advantages, but I didn't know it was rigged the way it was. So I fell in love with football and sports when I was young. And so, yeah, I went to the Super Bowl just a couple years ago when the Chiefs beat the 49ers. And I can't lie, it was a blast, man. Life is all about experiences to me, and that was a fun experience, even if the game was rigged. I mean, my dad doesn't believe anything's rigged. He is the complete opposite from me, and he had a great time. So, for any reason, if there's any reason for me to say I had a great time, it's because my dad did, bro. I was with my dad, and it was something I never thought we'd see. The Chiefs winning a Super Bowl. So, that happened. But right before I went down there, Kobe Bryant had passed away. And like I said, I had stopped following these truth channels, not Zachary K. Hubbard, nobody. I wasn't focused on any of that because I just felt like no one was getting anywhere, right? So before the Super Bowl, Kobe Bryant died, and I went back and I'm like, dude, I gotta find Zach Hubbard, man. I gotta find this guy. I know he's got some good decodes for this. I know he is breaking the Kobe situation down with gematria like no other. and I found some of his video. I finally found his channel again, and he sure did, man. It's like I knew the Kobe Bryant shit was some bullshit. I found Zach's channel. I'm like, okay. I found his channel again. I'm like, okay, yeah. I learned a little bit more about about exactly what happened there, ritual behind it. But I remember too, I hadn't been on Zach's channel in forever, and I even made that comment on the Kobe Bryant video. I said, "Man, I stopped watching you a long time ago, but I had to come check for you when Kobe died." He and Zachary K. Hubbard actually commented. He just said thumbs down. I think he spelt it out, thumbs down. He got like 20 likes on his little comment to mine. I'm like, damn, bro, you should be happy I'm back, homie. You know what I'm saying? Damn, bro, chill out. No, it's all good though. I get it. I get the frustration. But so anyway, he had a good decode on that. I was like, but that's the only video I'm watching because if he says anything about the Super Bowl, I'm gonna be pissed if he's saying the Chiefs ain't gonna win, bro. Because me and my dad about to go to the Super Bowl. I don't want to watch any more of his videos, so I didn't. I went down to Super Bowl. We won, and it was a great time. I came back. I started watching some more Zach's video, getting back in the truth community on YouTube and all around, and then COVID happened. And when COVID happened, bro, I cannot lie. Like initially, I thought it was legit. Like the first 48 hours, I thought it was legit. And like as soon as they okay, here's what really made me think it was legit, right? I'm thinking it's serious, and then I'm watching NBA that night, and all of a sudden they just start canceling all the games, and then all of a sudden they put the NBA season on hold. And I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, man, this Corona stuff is serious. They're shutting down the NBA because of this stuff. Oh man, you know it's serious now. And then I started researching COVID. And I started realizing that we weren't being told the truth again. And about 48 hours after they shut down the NBA, then I really sat down and thought about it. And I'm like, hold on, man. Is COVID serious because it is serious itself? Or am I thinking it's serious because of everything that's going on because of it? They're shutting down, they're making people work from home, they're shutting down NBA season. Is that why I think it's serious? Because all the things that are happening because of said COVID? I think that is why I think it's serious. Oh, well, hold on. So it itself is not that serious. So I started researching it, and anyone that's researched it, man, it's just a crock of crap. I think more and more people are waking up because of it, you know. But wow, one thing it has done, I mean, the division that this has created is just incredible. And to see how many people just don't want to look at the other side of the story. It's cool if you don't want to hear the other side of the story about 9/11 or Sandy or Boston, whatever. You don't want to hear the other story about that, the other side about that. But this is about our health, man. This is about your health, man. This is about alleged, Iris. So, it's a pretty serious topic. You should probably, leave no rock unturned, leave no stone unturned. You should probably do research on what all these doctors are saying, what all these media outlets are saying. You should probably really look into this. But it just really saddens me because so many people don't want to. They don't want to be their own researcher. They'd rather just believe the news porter. They did their research. Well, how do you know? They're on TV. They're just reading the teleprompter. You think they really even did any research? No. Somebody brought them a script of what to say. It's on the teleprompter. That they didn't research crap. They're just saying what they're told to say for the paycheck. Come on, y'all. But it's really what pushed me to this point, man. I'm like, okay, well, if no one wants to, research things anymore, if no one wants to look for truth anymore, I know it's too late to wake people up. That's not the point of my channel. More so, the point of my channel is to find like-minded people. I know that there's a lot of truth seekers out there that I haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, and that's really what my channel is about. It's about linking up with people that are really about this, man, that can really see through the bull crap and that really want to do something about it. So, my goal is just to educate people. I'm not trying to convince anyone of anything. That's not what I'm here to do. If I say something you don't agree with, then just fast forward, go to the next or skip to a different video, or just don't ever watch me again if that's how you want to be. But I wouldn't suggest being like that in general. People, you're never going to agree with someone completely. And this whole thing, this whole video isn't like a channel recommendation video. I know I showed a lot of truth channels, but another guy that comes to my mind when I talk about how I'm trying to do things is RV Truth. That guy always says it, exactly what I'm saying right now. It's like you're not going to agree with everyone. So you got to take what things that are intriguing and things that you do agree from someone, take those and, uh, process that information, and then the stuff you disagree with, just kind of put it off, and don't be too worried about it. That's where we get all this division, is people always feel like someone else has to agree with them. You don't have to agree with someone else. You can agree to disagree and still be on great terms with someone. I know that's tough for a lot of people to do, but it is possible, because there's a lot of people that I love that I disagree with on a lot of things, but nevertheless, I'm not going to, say screw them. It's like, hey, I disagree with them, but it depends what it is, though. It depends what it is. And we're approaching that point. That's my whole thing, man. We're approaching this point where, okay, yeah, we're in a spot where the division is being created. It's stronger than ever, and we're going to get to a spot where you might have to let go of some people you really love. You really might. But again, my channel, I'm not here to wake anyone up. So if you don't know anything about anything of what I've talked about, go back and do your research. I'm not here to tell you about what I found out about. You need to research it on your own. People gave me all kind of information, but I had to process it on my own and then do further research from there. You can't just believe anything anyone's telling you, whether it's the mainstream media or someone on YouTube. Research what this person's talking about, and go from there. Don't take anyone else's word. Do your own research, and you'll find out. You'll really find out that everything you thought might not be true. But much love to everyone. I don't even know if it'll let me post this video now because I've gone so long. It's my first video. I have no content, so we'll see. But much love to y'all. It's fall for nothing or fall for no thing. Peace, y'all.